Meeting will please come to order. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. A special thanks to everyone who is in here with us in council chambers. Also want to acknowledge everyone who was with us virtually. Today is Thursday, August the 20th. I am Trippi Congo, President of Wilmington City Council. And again, on behalf of all of my colleagues, we just want to thank you for joining us this evening. We're going to start with our opening prayer by, Marilena Rivera.
Heavenly Father, we have assembled to handle the affairs of our city. As we do so, we ask for your guidance and understanding. We pray that our city reaches a place of peace and safety. Keep us out of harm's way and bless those who are in authority. Let respect be key in all our endeavors. Padre Celestial, nos hemos reunido para manejar los asuntos de nuestra ciudad. Al hacerlo, le pedimos su orientación y comprensión. Oramos para que nuestra ciudad alcance un lugar de paz y seguridad, que nos mantenga fuera del peligro y bendecir a los que están en autoridad. Que el respeto sea clave en todos nuestros esfuerzos. Amén.
And now we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Owens,
Present.
Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilwoman Oliver,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Present.
Councilwoman Harley,
Present.
Councilwoman Willauer,
Present.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Here.
Councilman Johnson,
Here.
Councilman Field,
Present.
Councilwoman Bracy,
Present.
Councilwoman Cabrera, Councilman Hackett, Councilman Spadola,
Present.
President Congo.
Here.
10 present and 3 absent.
Thank you. Councilmember Darby did ask to be excused this evening, and Councilmember Cabrera says she's running just a little late. At this time, we are going to have a moment of silence for one of our former co-workers here on City Council, Ms. Edith Pridgeon. Thank you. Just as a note, Councilmember Darby will be holding all of our legislation this evening. And now we will have the reading of the minutes from our previous meeting.
July 9th, 2026, City Council met in regular session with remote participation on the above date at 6:30 p.m. President Ernest M. Congo II presiding.
I move that the minutes be accepted as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. The minutes be accepted as written. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
August 6th, 2026, City Council met in regular session with remote participation on the above date at 6:05 p.m. President Ernest M. Congo II presiding.
I move the minutes be accepted as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. The minutes be accepted as written. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And also the two ordinances that Councilmember Darby is holding. The first one is an ordinance to amend Chapter 2 of the City Code to establish a community response team. And also, she will be holding an ordinance amending Chapter 4 of the City Code to provide relief for qualified small developers from vacant property registration fees and to incentivize the development of affordable housing in the city. And now we will have our committee reports.
There's only one that will be read during our public hearing.
All right, thank you. Now we'll have our city treasurer's report.
August 20th, 2026, total investments, $576,320,779.86. Total cash on hand, $21,243,893.01. Grand total, $597,564,672.87. Submitted City Treasurer Dwayne Sims.
I move the treasury report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that the treasurer's report be received, recorded, and filed on the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I'll accept a motion to move to accept all non-legislative business.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to accept all non-legislative business on the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We do have, I believe, 2 in-person recognition resolutions this evening. First, I'm going to ask for Councilmember McCoy to come forward with hers.
Good evening, everyone,
Good evening.
and welcome back. All right, so this is something that we are doing pretty regularly now. We are going to be recognizing our interns. So this is an all-council-sponsored resolution. Whereas it is the sense of City Council to honor individuals and organizations. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I please have the interns? May I please have the interns come meet me at the podium? See, I'm still vacation brain. I don't know how I act. Thank you. Okay. As I stated, this is all council. President Congo, council members Owens, Darby, Oliver, Harley, Willauer, McCoy, Johnson, Field, Bracy, Cabrera, Hackett, and Spadola. Whereas it is the sense of City Council to honor individuals and organizations who have demonstrated outstanding achievement and deserve recognition and acknowledgement. The Wilmington City Council interns merit such distinction. Whereas today we proudly recognize and celebrate the exceptional group of interns who supported the work of the 109th session of Wilmington City Council during the summer of 2026 academic semester. These individuals included Autumn Brooks, Pablo Cherez, Summer Edwards, Clarice Nadangam, and Kellen Williams. I am so sorry, I'm just reading this. Whereas throughout your time here, you have brought fresh energy, sharp insight, and a sincere commitment to public service. Whether it was diving into policy research, attending council meetings, engaging with the community, or handling the day-to-day tasks that keep local government moving, each of you have made real impact. You weren't just interns, you were active participants in the work that shapes our city. Whereas you take your next steps, know that Wilmington is better because of you, of your contributions, and wherever your paths lead, we hope you carry with you the lessons, the memories, and the confidence that you have helped make a difference. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that this council is pleased to recognize Wilmington City Council interns for their time, talent, and passion for service to the City of Wilmington. Job well done. Would any of you have something to say? Please watch your step. Don't be shy.
Sure. Yeah, well, thank you guys so much at City Council for having us. I can kind of speak for all of us saying that we had a really great experience and are super appreciative to the entire city for supporting us as we grow academically and professionally.
Thank you.
Councilmember Oliver.
Yes, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to just thank all the interns, especially Autumn, for coming out and volunteering at various events. Pablo, Clarice, Callie, all of them. I'd like to just congratulate y'all on the outstanding job y'all have done this summer and wish you the best in your endeavors in life. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Councilmember Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I too want to echo the sentiments of my council colleagues by thanking all of our interns for your time, your diligence, and all the help and support that you provided for the council. And I wish you all the best on your future endeavors. And I do believe that what you learned here and what you experience here will definitely make a difference as you move forward in your careers. And again, thank you.
Thank you so much. Will you be returning to school? Yes. Okay.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Councilmember Willauer.
So good evening, everyone. I'm here. I wanted to welcome Reverend Whitaker and the members of the Mother African Union Church. We're going to be reading a resolution tonight, and there's a few of us up here who want to speak. And I just want to start. The Mother African Union Church has been a huge presence on the West Side in the 5th District. As long as I've been involved in the community, and it's not just the worshiping that is so. It's a powerful community of worship, and in addition to that, the church has given so much and supported the community on so many levels. And I got to know the Mother African Union Church quite a bit when we were working on before I was a council member, when I was working on starting up West Side Grows, actually working with Councilmember McCoy and many others. And Mother African Union Church just opened their doors and helped to organize the community around community events, and has always opened their doors for community meetings, and has always met the needs of the community with community programs. So this resolution is about honoring you, and the church has been super significant in the 5th District, but not just the 5th District. It's super significant for the city and for the nation. So that's what this resolution is about. So I know there's a couple other people who want to speak before we read the resolution, and I wanted to invite Councilmember McCoy to be the next speaker.
Thank you, Councilwoman Willauer, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much for being here. This is a great, I'm so glad that you're here, you're doing this, because people need to be aware of how much we are yearning to see the return of the building, of the structure of Mother Africa Church. As Councilwoman Willauer stated, I've already known about the church. Everyone knows about the church. But once I actually started working for West Side Grows together, I became more familiar with the anchor, the stakeholders in the neighborhood, everyone who surrounded that church. I was invited to find out about the summer, it was a summer literacy program, I think Dare to Care. I was invited by Dr. Smith, and that was a great thing. And once I learned about so much that they were doing for our young people, I sent my son to Ujima. So so he went to Ujima for several years, which is the after-school program. And then that actually turned into Freedom School, which was summer. So we had a great connection with the church. At the time, the Livingstons were actually running the things. And I just want to state that it is memories that he has carried on till now. When I made him aware of what happened at the church, he was definitely saddened because he remembered all of the great things that happened at that church. So I'm just glad to be able to let you know that the church made an impact, still makes an impact, and we are waiting to see what will become of it. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. First off, I just want to say that my heart is still with the Mother African Union Church family. But I'll also say this, a building is not your word. And y'all have proven that time and time again, that y'all are so much more than just a brick and mortar. Y'all, the work that y'all have done, whether it's the Freedom School, whether it's the community giving out food and everything, y'all have gone out and poured back into the city of Wilmington. So first off, I want to say thank you for the work that y'all have done there. And in great times of sorrow and pain, beautiful things can be born from it. And I know that y'all will build back better, something even more beautiful than the building that was there. And I know the stone masonry was still standing, which is a testament to the church itself. Yes, it hurt, but y'all spirits were not broken. And again, I've had an opportunity to see front hand, the amazing programming that y'all do, especially when it comes to youth programming with financial literacy, the Freedom School, but then also all the community partners that y'all have worked with. So again, I'm just honored to be here in your presence, but also looking forward to seeing the work that y'all continue to do. So thank y'all for everything y'all do.
So, we are here. We did want to invite the church because there was a fire, but we also, and there's a lot of, we just support you in that. At the same time, we just recognize that your history is long, and we wanted to honor that tonight. So the resolution here is from all of council, and the sponsors are Council President Congo and Council Members Kobe Owens, Council Member Sinead Darby, Council Member Xanthia Oliver, Council Member Michelle Harley, Council Member Christian Willauer, Council Member Yolanda McCoy, Council Member Christopher Johnson, Council Member Nathan Field, Council Member Letitia Bracey, Council Member Maria Cabrera, Council Member Alex Hackett, and Council Member James Fidola. So, whereas it is the sense of City Council to honor individuals and organizations who have demonstrated outstanding achievement and deserving of recognition and acknowledgement, Mother African Union Church merits such distinction. And whereas Mother African Union Church is rooted in the historic Union Church of Africans, founded in 1813 by Peter Spencer and William Anderson, establishing what became the first independent African-American religious denomination in the United States. And whereas emerging from the determination of free African Americans to govern their own religious affairs, Mother African Union Church has deep roots in the tradition of self-determination and has fostered institutions that reflect a proud heritage of dignity, leadership, and resilience, even in the most trying times. And whereas for more than 2 centuries, Mother African Union Church has served as a beacon of hope, fellowship, and service for generations of Wilmington residents, providing spiritual guidance, community outreach, and support to countless families throughout the city of Wilmington and beyond. And I wanted to invite Councilmember Harley to do the next set of statements.
Thank you, Councilmember Willard, first of all, for the opportunity to allow me to be a part of this and bringing forth this resolution. I want to start off by just saying to Reverend Whitaker, as it has already been stated, that even though the fire burned down the structure, I know that the tabernacles is still moving forward. And just know that Wilmington, the state of Delaware, that we are still praying for you, and we know that God has something greater for you. So I would like to continue with this resolution. So whereas the church's history is deeply interwoven with the African American journey towards freedom, both literally and figuratively. I just want to mention that the Mother African Union Church was literally right here on French Street for 156 years, right here. So I am honored to be able to be a part of this reading on this evening because I represent this district, and I also want to say that's one of the reasons why we named across the street Freedom Plaza. So, as we have already mentioned, Mother African Union Church has deep roots in the tradition of self-determination and has fostered institutions that reflect a proud heritage of dignity, leadership, and resilience, even in the most trying times. Whereas for more than 2 centuries, Mother African Union Church has served as a beacon of hope, as it has already been stated, fellowship and service for generations of Wilmington residents, providing spiritual guidance, community outreach, and support to countless families throughout the city of Wilmington and beyond. Whereas the church's history is deeply interwoven with the African American journey towards freedom, both literally and figuratively, from its early days as a haven for conductors and passengers traveling on the Underground Railroad. Mother African Union Church has continued to play an integral role in maintaining and celebrating traditions that continue to unite communities across generations, including the historic August quarterly observance and commemorates the founding of the Union Church of Africans and remains one of the oldest continuous African American religious gatherings in the nation, and the Peter Spencer Family Life Foundation Children's Defense Fund Freedom School, modeled on the concept of the Mississippi Freedom Summer Project of 1964. And at this time, on behalf of Wilmington City Council, again, we want to salute you and we wish you all the best.
I would also like to recognize Council Member Hackett, who has joined us virtually.
I'd like to invite Reverend Whitaker.
First and foremost, to God be all of the glory. President Congo, thank you for your great leadership. Distinguished council members in person and also online, we thank you for this auspicious honor. Obviously, May the 17th, 2026 was devastating to everyone that was a part of our community. But at the same time, I stand before you today giving thanks. And I thank everyone that's in this room, everyone that's online, because you didn't let us fall. In the midst of tragedy, there are so many testimonies that as early as 5 a.m., we had neighbors that was going to Dunkin' Donuts and making sure that our members had food. We had individuals that was coming by and praying for us and just rallying behind us. So we are just grateful because there has been an outpouring of love. I think the other thing that we recognized in this season is that, as you shared with us, council member, we are the church beyond the walls. And even though our building was destroyed, that morning at 10 a.m., we still had church. We still had a community to gather together, and we gave thanks. And in this season, we learned the beauty of community, the importance of taking care of one another. Even this morning, CBS Philadelphia reached out, and they said, we know the August quarterly is coming up. Dr. Whitaker, do you have time to give an interview? Because everyone wants to make sure that this great tradition is still going on. And I think that whether it's local, whether it's regional or national, people have proved to us that they're not going to let us fail. But I end with this. I'm hoping that through this tragedy, we can rally together. Councilmember Wilhauer, as you said, this is bigger than everybody that's in this room. One of the things that I've reflected on the last 3 months is the importance of a life and not taking things for granted, but also the importance of legacy. And as I walked by that building a week after the fire, in my spirit, I said, we're not going out like this. We're going to continue to fight. And when I'm inviting you to the August Quarterly, it's not just for the preaching and the worship. It's because there's going to be a strategy about our next steps. We're going to be sharing where we are worshiping temporarily, but then there's a greater strategy that we want to put before the community, because guess what? We're going to need everyone's help. But also, the August Quarterly is a time of celebration. We are celebrating 212 years of religious freedom. We are celebrating a very exclusive collaboration with the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian reached out last year and said, we didn't know anything about the August Quarterly, and they came on down, and as such, we are included in the nation's 250th celebration this year. Another thing that we are celebrating, many of you may not know this, we also have a partnership with the Delaware Historic Society where we have an exhibit that was just launched last night, a museum about Peter Spencer, the Mother African Union Church, and also the August Quarterly. It is a top-notch exhibit that literally could be in any museum on planet Earth, and it's going to stand out. And we want you to go visit that exhibit, called, which is titled Ancestral Dream. So we invite you to that. Please take advantage of this great opportunity, because, again, it's not about one church, it's about a community. I want to end with this. Our ancestors and some of our elders sang this song during the Civil Rights Movement, that the one thing we did right was the day we started to fight. Keep our eyes on the prize. Even in the midst of us being tired and frustrated and hurt and grieving and dealing with enormous costs, I'm just so thankful that we have a community. I have these great ministers. We have individuals, both near and far, that have said we're going to keep fighting and we're going to keep our eyes on the prize. So once again, City Council, this warms my heart. Thank you so much. This is a great way for us to start August Quarterly. We love you and we're thankful. Thank you.
I would also like to recognize Councilmember Maria Cabrera, who has joined us in council chambers.
So, again, Reverend Whitaker and members of the Mother African Union Church, what council wanted to do with this resolution was show our respect for your history and also show you that we wanted to give you our support for your future.
Thank you.
So this is community support funds that council members are able to distribute, and this is from all the different members of council putting in for this. So this will, we wanted to make sure that you knew that we support you in what you determine for your future.
No, I just stay right here. Thank you.
Can I get a novelty check?
President Congo,
Councilmember Oliver.
thank you. I'd just like to congratulate the Mother Church and thank Councilmember Willard for allowing me to get involved and make a donation towards the church. Overdue, well deserved. And just, let all the members of the church know that our prayers have been with them throughout this whole ordeal. And congratulations. Something small can help out to, a small donation can help their organization. I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. And moving on, just to recognize the other resolutions coming from Councilmember Cabrera. She would like to recognize Hope Rose Bendenbaugh on her retirement. I would also like to recognize Derek Milano for his Duffy Hope's Legacy of Hope 2026 honoree. I would also like to recognize Born for Brothers and Sisters on their relaunch and ribbon cutting. Coming from Councilmember Harley, she would like to recognize Fat Cuts Hairstyling on their 30-year anniversary. Councilmember McCoy would like to recognize Irene Kristopowski on her 100th birthday. Councilmember Oliver would like to recognize Harmon Carey on his 90th birthday. Councilmember Owens would like to recognize St. Paul UME Church on their 139th anniversary. He would also like to recognize Robert O. Wright III for his The Right Way the inaugural basketball camp. And he also is recognizing the North Market Public Library on their official opening. And he is also recognizing the commemoration of the Americans with Disabilities Act on their 36-year anniversary. And in the way of sympathy resolutions coming from all of council, a sympathy resolution for Eugene Delano Johnson coming from Councilmember Cabrera, sympathy resolution for Thomas Francis Hinkle. I would like to have a sympathy resolution for Councilmember Darby would like to have a sympathy resolution for Roxanne Elizabeth Scrivens. Councilmember Hardy would like sympathy resolutions for Evangelist Hattie B. Wincher and Doris Olivia Chapman. Councilmember Oliver has sympathy resolutions for Joseph Vincent Williams Jr., Rita Elizabeth Smith, Ronald Albert Anderson Jr., and Carolyn Dollard. And Councilmember Dollard has a sympathy resolution for Harold Williams Shinkert Jr. and Paul Michael Schofield Jr. And also I have a sympathy resolution for Jamil Merrill. At this time, we're going to move to public comment. Just want to remind everyone that you do have 3 minutes. Once you have around 30 seconds remaining, I will give you a friendly reminder to please wrap up your comments. Please remember to introduce yourself. If you are representing a district, you can say that once you come forward, but it is not a requirement. And for anyone who is online, we had 3 people who are virtual. We have 4 people who are in council chambers, so we're going to alternate. First, we're going to start with Deacon Earl E. Tate. Thank you for joining us, Brother Tate.
Greetings. This is Deacon Earl E. Tate, who's never late because he don't want to lose his pair of roller skates. And I like to present, I like to say, this is now is the time. It's the time when all of us who are of the age of voting should get out here and vote It's time for y'all to get off your seat of do nothing and do something because what the man have done, he have cut off so much education which is needed for the carry on for our kids and their kids and their kids after them. So we need to have the education, the home, the transportation, the good jobs and everything. But we can't do nothing if we don't get off our seat. If we don't get off our seat and get out here and make your voices be heard. Let every voice be heard because we got to care for our kids, just like our kids got to care for their kids and everything. Because if we don't, we're not hurting nobody but ourselves. So stand up and take a stand and get out here and vote because we got so much to be thankful for. And the only way to be thankful for it is by getting out there showing everybody that, hey, I'm standing up for the right of my kids and everything. So this I say to you, stand up and be heard. Make your voice be heard. Let your voice be heard. Stand up and have a happy and healthy Labor Day.
Thank you. Next, virtually, we have Christina Kelly.
Hi, good evening. My name is Christina Kelly. I'm here tonight with concerns about both the process and the substance of Ordinance 25-048. So I'll start with the process because public notice is not simply a box to check. It's how Wilmington residents learn that their government is about to make decisions that can affect their neighborhoods for years to come. As this is a zoning change, it does fall under Delaware state law that requires at least a once weekly per 2 week consecutive public notice period. And tonight's public hearing was published just once on August 5th. This matters. Residents need a meaningful opportunity to find out what is being proposed, obtain the ordinance, understand its implications, speak with their neighbors, and decide whether they need to come before this council. Delaware's notice requirements exist to protect the public's opportunity to participate in government, not merely to satisfy a technical requirement on paper. And I want to be clear, if council proceeds with a final vote tonight, despite inadequate public notice, you are potentially creating a serious legal vulnerability for this ordinance and for the city. If this matter is challenged in the Delaware Court of Chancery, council should not be surprised if the court is asked to invalidate or otherwise set aside action taken without legally sufficient notice. That brings me to the ordinance itself. This ordinance is being presented as a zoning change from H1 heavy manufacturing to M1 light manufacturing, along with a remarkably light parking requirement. And on its face, that may sound like a relatively minor zoning adjustment, but zoning is not just about what property is being used for today. Zoning determines what can happen there tomorrow. When council changes a property zoning classification and broadens that use, the uses that can occur there as of right, you are creating possibilities that can remain in place long after this current administration, the current council, and even the current property owners are gone. And that's exactly why I'm concerned about the combination of broader permitted uses and minimal parking requirements. So I'm not standing here tonight claiming that this ordinance is secretly a data center ordinance. I don't have the evidence to make that claim. But what I am saying is that the framework being created could potentially accommodate future industrial uses that residents have not been given a meaningful opportunity to evaluate, including those large-scale, high-demand facilities that may have significant impacts.
You have 30 seconds.
that are worth being asked before we change the zoning, not after a developer comes forward and residents are told that the zoning has already been changed and there's nothing they can do about it. So again, why the notice issue matters even more. If this ordinance is truly straightforward, appropriate, and beneficial for Wilmington, then there should be no reason to rush it through on questionable notice. Let this council make a decision with the benefit of genuine public participation. So I'm asking council tonight to postpone ordinance 25048, provide legally sufficient public notice, and allow the public the meaningful opportunity to participate that Delaware law is intended to protect. Thank you.
Thank you. Next in council chambers, we have Dr. Bland. And our next virtual speaker is going to be Gene Messick. Thank you for joining us, and please remember to introduce yourself.
Good evening. I am Dr. Dre Bland, pastor of the Shiloh Baptist Church, the oldest African-American Baptist church in the state of Delaware. I stand today to address the council on the issue of the killing of Kadir Skinner, a 19-year-old man shot in the back in the prime of his life. I stand as a father and pastor. While I've only been here in the city a short period of time, recognize the need for meaningful police reform. We are tired and exhausted of stories like this who have become all too common an occurrence. The video revealed not only the tragic shooting death of Kadir, but the way in which members of certain communities are treated, the language and aggression with which members of the community were met by those sworn to protect and serve, raises questions about the culture within the WPD. There's been a breach of public trust. The status quo can simply not continue. Myself, along with other clergy, are calling for transparency, an independent investigation, a review of departmental policies, and accountability. Because while we believe that we do need police and safe streets, my own mother was a member of law enforcement, so I have nothing against police. But we do not believe that a badge is a shield from accountability. We believe in reform, policing practices and policies. We recognize in many ways that the city council and other cities' hands are tied by the flawed legislation that is the LEOBOR, the LEOBOR. We recognize that as an interfaith and multiracial coalition that there is much work to do. But please know that we are organizing a multiracial interfaith coalition pushing toward meaningful change, not simply to stand up boards that simply talk about the issues, but those that can bring about accountability and reform. The question raised by the prophet Micah still echoes through the centuries. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God? Our march is for justice, for a better Wilmington, where all people can flourish, where the kind of treatment you get from the police department does not matter with which zip code you live in. We're fighting for justice. Justice not for one community, but justice for all of Wilmington. So whether you live in North Wilmington, you live in whatever zip code it is, that you can count on those sworn to protect and serve when they enter the scene to come seeking to be guardians and not prison guards for a community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next virtual, we have Gene Messick, and our next speaker in council chambers is going to be Cheyenne Miller. Okay, Gene Messick, if you're still with us virtually, please raise your hand. If not, we're going to move on to our next virtual speaker, who is Lip Bentley.
Howdy, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you for joining us.
Sure, thank you. My name is Lit Bentley. I am a resident of the 6th District. I first just want to call for justice for Kadir Skinner, and also to ask for a independent outside audit of the Wilmington Police Department is just one starting place to address what needs to be done about the police. I also want to echo Speaker Christina Kelly, who spoke a few moments ago about the ordinance of 25-048, and just to second what she said and ask for a delay because we as citizens do deserve more time and also because it is the law in Delaware. Next, I want to cover the ordinance that was voted upon about relief for the water bills and not shutting off water for those who are disabled, elderly, or have children that are under the age of 5. And the fact that John Carney decided to veto that legislation. This is for those who were here 2 weeks ago. I want to thank you again, and also I'm sorry, Councilmember Johnson, I didn't know that you were on call waiting remotely, and I want to thank you too for being available. To those who did not show up either in person or remotely, as Councilmember Johnson did, and you could also do, you abdicated your responsibility to the most vulnerable citizens of our city by not showing up, and especially those who voted against this ordinance in the first place. Now, I understand that y'all are human and maybe there was some type of emergency, but the fact that so many people were absent and again could have showed up remotely, that is not only disappointing, but it is disturbing. And you all need to answer to us, the citizens of the city, of why you were absent and did not show up, especially the most vulnerable. Thank you, Council President, and thank you, Council. That is all I have to say.
All right, thank you. Cheyenne Miller. Cheyenne, you're not coming up. You're yielding your time? Okay. All right, thank you. All right, thank you for joining us, and please remember to introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Darrell Dollard. I am Kadir Skinner's father. Rashay Skinner is back there. His mother is back there. We still looking for transparency. It's been how many days? Thank you. I'm sitting here like trying to figure out what do we do as a community. We talking about community. I just seen the community as a whole pass off. Who's passing off to me and my son's mother? Not to say any kind of pass. I'm talking about talking to us, transparency. I'm talking about, we ain't heard from city council like we should. We are not being professional. I feel like I'm being frustrated. I am frustrated right now because we're not being professional right now about what's going on with my son. I really feel some type of way. And I think that we really need to get down and sit there as a community to deal with this. If the head ain't right, the body won't function.
Thank you. And our final speaker this evening is Joy Piles. And thank you for joining us, and please remember to introduce yourself.
First time coming before City Council.
forgive me. Just
You're fine. Take your time.
give me a minute. Lord have mercy. Jesus. Wow, main thing I wanted to do was keep on my glasses. Oh, God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Mrs. Piles. I have a degree in electrical engineering. I want you all to know I came here to tell my story. I have a degree in electrical engineering. I have a master's degree in business administration, concentration, finance, and banking. And I want you to, and including other degrees, college degrees. I have to keep my eye on the clock. College degrees. My father-in-law was a federal judge. He was a proud member of the Democratic Caucus. He was the first to graduate from the University of Kansas Law School in 1951. After my husband died and after my father-in-law died, me and my father-in-law were close and had numerous conversations about, at that time, U.S. Senator Biden, because he loved Biden. He adored Biden. He always talked about his skill for politics. And I came to Delaware with a hope and a dream in memory of my father-in-law, the Honorable Judge John E. Piles, U.S. and municipal courts. And the best thing this state has had for me has been a tent with no sleeping bag, dishonesty, bigotry, lynching, honest lynching. And I repeatedly each month face homelessness due to scrutiny of landlords. I'm currently renting from a slumlord. The vermin, there are cracks in the foundation that allow flooding and vermin to enter. I'm fighting an army of rodents. The tenants are fighting armies of rodents that the exterminator is unable, inefficient to handle. There's black mold, allegedly black mold in the basements. I can go on and on about issues with the place. Each month, tenants are faced with eviction due to lost payments of rent. I would like to ask you all this question. As a black person, as a black woman, a well-educated black woman, are we people allowed
30 seconds.
to have education? Are we allowed to have housing? Are we allowed to have equal opportunity in this state of Delaware and in this city of Wilmington? I have more information for you. I pray you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We want to thank everyone who joined us this evening and spoke either virtually or in council chambers. As always, you're always welcome to give public comment on every first and third Thursday at our official council meetings and also during our committee meetings that are scheduled throughout the month. At this time, we are going to move on to legislative business. Councilmember Cabrera. Yes, sir. Come on up. You're fine. You can just introduce yourself once you get to the mic. You say
What's going on, everybody? My name is Abdul Hay. Today, I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm appreciative of what the state, what the city has been doing for the community. I see it all. Today is not about asking for anything because I know you guys have a hard task to do. And I just wanted to commend you guys for actually putting yourself out there because y'all don't have to do anything for us. Y'all just have to do your job. And you guys take it a step and y'all push it and y'all push through and y'all guys try to help everybody out. We all got problems going on. We all trying to accomplish something and you all guys try to be there for each of us. So today, instead of asking something for y'all, I just want to commend y'all from the top all the way down. My name is Abdul Hay. I am the founder of Voices Still Speaking. I am the leader of the Lighthouse. I want to say thank you all. That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Councilmember Cabrera.
Yes, Mr. President. I move council dissolve into a committee of the whole for the purpose of holding a public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second that council dissolve into a committee of the whole for the purpose of holding a public hearing. Excuse me, on the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried. Clerk, please read the affidavit of publication.
State of Delaware, County of Newcastle, the Wilmington News Journal is a daily newspaper of general circulation printed and published in the state of Delaware, that the publication, a copy of which is attached hereto, was published in the said newspaper on the issued dates. August 5th, 2026, Delaware Online, and August 5th, 2026, Wilmington News Journal. Sworn to and subscribed before on August 5th, 2026. Notary of the State of Wisconsin, County of Brown.
I move the affidavit of publication be made part of the record.
Second.
It's been moved and second that the affidavit of publication be made a part of the record on the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Clerk, please read the Planning Commission report.
July 16th, 2025, the Honorable Akira Granardo. Attached for City Council's consideration are Planning Commission Resolutions 6-25.
Mr. President, I move the Planning Commission report be made part of the record.
Second.
It's been moved and second that the Planning Commission report be made a part of the record on the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Planning Department rep, please come forward with your report. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening. I'm Gwyneth Kaminsky, Planning Manager with the Department of Planning and Land Use. I am filling in for Abdul Dawadu, who I would like to credit with the casework for this issue and for presenting to the Planning Commission and the Community Development Urban Planning Committee. He was unable to be here this evening, so I will pinch hit. Ordinance 25048 supports a proposal to amend Chapter 48 of the City Code by expanding the types of uses permitted as a matter of right within the M1 light manufacturing zoning district. It further creates definitions for commercial recreation and public assembly to be added to the zoning code. This is necessary because the current zoning code prohibits public assembly and commercial recreation uses in M1 zoning districts. Developers must therefore seek a use variance approval through the Zoning Board of Adjustment to establish these uses. Previous requests and approvals indicates that there is a growing pattern of viability for these types of uses in M1 districts, and the Department of Land Use and Planning sees a clear opportunity to align our zoning practices with actual development trends by amending the code. The proposed definitions for the public assembly and commercial recreation uses are as follows. Public assembly is an indoor or outdoor facility where people gather for civic, educational, religious, social, or cultural purposes, and it includes assembly halls, community centers, event venues, banquet halls, stadiums, and places of worship. Commercial recreation is a private or public facility offering recreational or entertainment activities to the public, and examples would be fitness centers, bowling alleys, arcades, escape rooms, skating rinks, laser tag, paintball, indoor climbing gyms, mini golf, and similar venues. The development's parcel size would obviously limit the types of establishments that could be built. The potential benefits of the amendments to the code include the following. 1, permitting these uses activates the use of vacant or underutilized M1 parcels. It expands the residents' access to much-needed community and recreational spaces. It attracts new investment and job opportunities. And to use an example of the Chase Field House in South Wilmington, which needed ZBA approval, this facility drew over 2.4 million visits between 2022 and 2024, creating approximately 43 full-time and 45 part-time jobs. And it was estimated at that time that $195,000 annually would be generated in the post-abatement property taxes. Of course, remember that this specific facility is situated on a very large property in an M1 district that does not directly impact residential neighborhoods, and not all M1 districts would be able to accommodate this type of facility. And number 4, streamlines zoning approval process, saving time and resources for the developer. Now, I'd like to address a couple of additional points. The size of the parcel dictates the extent of the potential development. Even as a permitted use, zoning regulations that are presented under M1 must still be met with respect to required height, side yards, setbacks, and floor area ratio, as well as meeting noise and nuisance regulations. M1 includes protective controls and standards to address external effects such as sound, vibration, heat discharge, odor, and air and water quality. So there are controls in place. There are also landscaped buffer requirements when a parcel abuts a residential district. Regarding the concern that this takes away from the opportunity for community input, it really isn't any different than any other matter of right use. In most cases, developers work with adjacent residents and community groups to discuss their proposals and to work out any issues of concerns, both for matter of right and special exception type uses. And planning also recommends that types of community engagement with working with developers. In M1, large tracts of land have not been utilized to their full potential. Lately, developers have gone through the ZBA process to establish commercial recreational uses, such as the Chase Field House and the future indoor track facility, which are amenities that have proven to be quite beneficial to the community. These M1 zones are fairly localized in the city, with the largest concentration being along Garish's Lane, New York Avenue, Boston Avenue, and South Wilmington, along Vanderveer Avenue, and in the northeastern side of the city, north of Riverside. Small to mid-size investors will be encouraged to build once the burden of the ZBA process is eliminated. Now, also as a part of researching this issue, the zoning practices were looked at in other jurisdictions. Now, in Delaware, it delegates the zoning power to municipalities, so there was no statewide guidance specific to this issue. However, in Newcastle County, they have related terms, recreational low-high density, with high-density uses aligning with the proposed commercial recreation definition that we have put together. In Dover, they have a dedicated recreational and commercial district permitting stadiums, parks, and amusement venues. In Newark, Delaware, they allow indoor commercial recreation in industrial zones via special permit with city council approval required, rather than a use variance. Now, while still requiring zoning board of adjustment review, or city council review in that case, it's a lesser standard that the developer has to meet. In Los Angeles, California, they permit public assembly and commercial recreation by right in M1 zones, and stadiums are allowed with seating restrictions. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania has a special purpose stadium and arena district where stadiums and arenas are permitted by right with controls to protect the neighborhoods. So to recap the code amendment and regulatory standards, the zoning code changes would add public assembly and commercial recreation uses as permitted in the M1 district, section 48-246. It would establish formal definitions for both uses in section 48-2. And I will also point out that the legislation applies existing M1 parking ratios to commercial, recreation, and public assembly uses that are in line with requirements for warehousing and industrial uses, and that would be 1 space per 3,000 square feet of gross floor area. Now, the Planning Commission in July 2025 approved their CPC Resolution 625, which supports amending the zoning code to add these two uses as permitted uses in the M1 district. They recommended adding formal definitions for both categories to the code. They supported applying existing M1 parking standards, also amending the code, and they view the proposed amendments to the code as aligned with economic development goals and modern land use needs. The only other comment I would like to make is to address the two persons who spoke earlier during your public comment period regarding the thought that the public notice was insufficient. I will say that this proposal was considered by the City Planning Commission, as I mentioned, with full public notice, including a legal notice in the News Journal. This City Planning Commission's agenda was also sent to our standard mailing list and posted in the building. A public hearing was held at that time to hear public comment both in person and virtually, and the proposal was next reviewed by the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee, at which time planning made a public presentation on the ordinance, and that, of course, was televised, as you know. So I would just like to reiterate that the Planning Department followed the public notice requirements, and I'd like that added to the record. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Cabrera.
Yeah,
Any questions from council? Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you. Yeah, and this is a time for council members to ask questions. And I just want to start it off by, first of all, just, kind of summarizing that this is land use legislation. It's not a funding request. And it also promulgates parking regulations as mentioned by our speaker, by the presentation we just had. My understanding, though, is that if you do have a large facility and more people were to visit, that we would need more parking, and that was something that was brought up as a concern. I saw it earlier today, and we heard it here tonight. So is that part of the code that we would be changing? Because I did also read that zoning would still be involved in any building and parking, so that if someone goes forth with a plan to build something, that's when zoning would regulate and say you're going to need additional parking spaces because of the type of venue that it is? Or do we go standard with that one parking for every 3,000 plus the employee parking?
Yes, we are using the one space per 3,000 as is currently in the M1 zone. I think it's to the size. I want to comment about the size of the proposal. You have to remember, as I mentioned earlier, that the size of anything being built is dictated by the other regulations in the code. So they can only max out the floor area ratio. They have to adhere to setbacks and side yard requirements, and the height of 4 stories in M1 districts. So there's only so much density that can be put on a parcel under those regulations to begin with. So we're not talking about a Chase field house in every residential neighborhood. These are in M1 districts, and it also accommodates smaller venues like assembly halls, church assembly, things like that. So it's not just the large field houses of South Wilmington.
And as you mentioned, we really don't have that type of land around the city that's concentrated in that area. But I guess what I want to assure the public is that you just explained that it most likely will be smaller venues, so the 1 in 3,000 might be the whole thing. But I guess the biggest concern in lay language, what they want to hear is there room for the public, of course, and city council to request that there be additional parking when building, one of these facilities to accommodate, number one, the parking that's needed, and if it is adjacent to a residential area, which we understand not many of them are, but for those that are, that it's not taking parking away from the residents. And of course, you mentioned about the noise variances, and all those things have to be adhered to, because those are concerns that we have heard. What we're basically doing with this, and my understanding is that we are eliminating that extra step that kind of makes it longer to be able to progress to do these things, but we're still not giving up our power in terms of the zoning requirements or the city council being involved or the community standing up and saying, we don't want this. If you could answer that.
Sure. I think as far as wanting extra parking for a facility, of course, negotiations always take place between developers and the community if there is a fear that there's not enough parking. We certainly would make sure that the requirements were adhered to. As always, when we adopt these types of ordinances, if we find that it becomes an issue, we can always further amend or add additional requirements down the road, but we feel that this is adequate. There are buffer requirements between M1 and residential neighborhoods. Parking is required on site, so it's not expected to impact adjacent neighborhoods where that exists. So it's something that, because this is new, this is something that we're trying to accommodate. We will adjust accordingly if we find that there are any issues, but we believe what's being proposed is sufficient.
Thank you for that detailed explanation.
Thank you, Councilmember Willauer.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. I guess I'm a little confused that we're having this hearing right now, because from what I remember of this issue is that it came in front of the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee, and there was like tons of questions because some of these M1 districts are in residential neighborhoods. People are like, why do we need to do this? Why can't we just have the zoning code be as it is? And then if there's a reasonable use come in, you know, they can apply for, you know, variance and it still gives the chance for there to be a discussion. And just as an example, you know, I was at a zoning hearing last week, and there was a discussion about a new track and field house or something like that down at the riverfront, and they were applying to be able to do that. And, you know, they had to come in front of the Zoning Board of Adjustment and explain, like, what was going on, and then the public had a chance, and city council members had a chance to hear about it, and if there was issues. And I just worry that by making it a by right use in M1 districts, that eliminates that entire process.
Well, your first comment about these being in residential neighborhoods, they would not be in residential neighborhoods. This is being limited to the M1 district, which is a light manufacturing district, and a lot of our M1 districts are vacant. You know, undeveloped land, you know, it's just, there's nothing going on there. The warehouses and light manufacturing uses just aren't coming in. And we've seen the development trend of the Chase Center and this indoor track facility that you've referred to that have become very popular. And so, yes, they did have to go to zoning board to get a use variance, but getting a use variance requires meeting very strict standards. Our code is set up so that you have matter of right uses, which, you know, are allowed. You have special exception uses, which are uses that are recognized as being likely compatible in a district with conditions. And then you have use variances, which which are any use that's not identified in the code, and they have to come forward and meet strict standards to prove the hardship, you know, for establishing that use. You know, we believe that the commercial, recreation and public assembly uses, you know, have not been identified by our code. Our code is very old. You know, it was written in the 60s, and it has not kept up to date with current land use trends. We will be undergoing a zoning code update later this year and into 2027 so that we can bring the code into the current times. But right now we have identified these uses. We have done the research. We have seen that other jurisdictions have accommodated these uses successfully. And we believe the uses that have been established already as special, you know, as use variances, you know, have been operating quite well and have brought a lot of benefit to the community. So we just believe it's the right step to take.
Could I have a follow-up, Mr. President?
Yes, you may.
So I just understood the process for zoning to be that there be a comprehensive community planning process, and then within 18 months, the city would, you know, adjust the zoning based on that comprehensive comprehensive plan. That zoning was part of a comprehensive plan. So I guess I'm just a little confused why there's plans to do all this work with the zoning without doing the comprehensive plan.
This isn't a zoning map change. You're correct that any map change needs to be consistent with a comprehensive development plan. The comprehensive development plan identifies future land uses in its future land use maps for each of the districts. And when a comprehensive development plan is created, the state allows I believe 18 months for the city to then implement the recommendations of the comprehensive development plan. And I would note that the comprehensive plan is also in line to be updated too in the next year or so. So, you know, these are things, one of many things that we will be addressing, but we believe that it is consistent with the uses that are permitted in M1. You know, it is, I don't believe there's any amendments that need to be made to the code, I guess is what I'm saying. Because, again, the 18 months is to amend the map, the actual official city zoning map, to change a district, say from R3 to R2 or whatever. We're not changing zoning districts on a map. We're changing the text of the code to adjust for what uses are permitted in that code.
Councilmember Owens, followed by Councilmember Oliver, and then Councilmember McCoy.
Thank you, Gwen, for being here, and thank you for a great presentation. Very similar to the questions that Councilwoman Cabrera asked about the parking. My concern is I have three M1 district or zone areas in my district. One on Miller Road, right across from Brandywine Hills, and the other two right next to East 30th Street area. So, if another, let's say, one of those sites were purchased and they wanted to do some type of venue space there, and they build a building there, let's say 30,000 square feet, that's only 10 parking spots. How would y'all make sure that that parking spillage for an event, and again, if you're doing a venue, you're probably going to have more than 10 people there, isn't going to spill over into the neighborhoods, into the residence area?
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a case-by-case situation. You know, if we felt that there were going to be problems with the parking, that would come into negotiation with the developer. It just depends. There are so many different types of uses that are identified here for commercial recreation as well as for public assembly. Yeah. You know, I would say that, again, if we found that there to be a problem or that we needed more specific parking regulations for specific types of uses that we are asking to be allowed, you know, that is something that can be added to the code, certainly.
Thank you for that. And just a follow-up question. So if it is in one of the residential neighborhoods, would zoning notify the district council person to give them an opportunity to also engage on that as well, too?
Well, this is not recommending anything for residential neighborhoods or residential zoning. It is strictly within the M1 district.
No.
When it abuts a residential, you know, that is something that the developer, and he will come into the Department of Land Use and Planning, we always recommend that they contact the district council person as well as the community neighborhood planning associations.
Okay, thank you.
So that can be discussed. You know, we're not looking to create parking problems in the neighborhood, noise problems in the neighborhood. As I said, this is something new to our code. We're trying to address a need in accordance with development trends, and we will adjust accordingly.
Thank you.
Just as a follow-up, you mentioned that you would recommend the developer to have those conversations with the council member in the community, but it's not a requirement.
No, it isn't a requirement in the code, but it is our policy, our standard policy to do so.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Councilmember Oliver, followed by Councilmember McCoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Based on my conversation with Ms. Gwen and going down there and going over the field house and just looking at all the increase of the activities and also speaking with the sponsor from the last time, I will be supporting this legislation. I just took some kids out to a skating ring in Newark, and I'm looking forward to some of them activities being right here in Wilmington. And once I found out it didn't have an issue with the residential, it's just for the comprehensive plan for the zoning. I will be supporting this and looking forward to it. And I also talked to Paul and runs West End, and he said, as far as the zoning, they did something similar, the zoning over in that area. So I will be supporting this. I think it's a good idea for some of our kids who don't get the opportunity to experience some activities that individual youth that have money. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm also trying to get them involved with the soccer over there. For that reason, I will be supporting this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilmember McCoy.
Thank you. So my comment, I think I just spoken to my council colleague when you talked about the comprehensive plan and the fact that you're not doing a whole redo of the map, because if I'm not mistaken, some of these pieces were just recently annexed, right? Were some of these pieces just
Yes, there was an
annexed?
annexation that took place in
Right,
South
so
Wilmington.
they would not be part of Wilmington at the time that we did the comprehensive plan because they were recently annexed. So, I'm
They
sorry.
already got their variance.
Huh?
They already got their variance.
Right. So, no, what I'm saying is that we did the annex like the end of 2025, I think?
Yeah.
Okay. So, no, I was just wondering, because I do have M1, a small, a portion of my area as well. I'd have many questions. I know we raked Abdul over the coals. I know, because we were not, I don't think that we were very clear, but I did have a conversation with you again to make certain I had clarity about it. So I do understand, and I do realize that the M1 is actually not where my homes are. So I will be supporting this as well.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Field, followed by Councilmember Harley.
So my comment is more just about timing. I am fully satisfied that any technical requirements about notice were followed according to the rules. I have no doubt about that. It's more, I'm concerned about.
Councilmember Field, excuse me. WITN asks that you speak into your mic, please.
So my concern is more about timing tonight. I am very satisfied that the land use and planning followed all the rules about notice. I don't have any concern about that. My main concern is about the timing today. And so I probably, like many people here, got 2 calls at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And I frankly don't fully understand this. But I'm also concerned about anything that becomes, just get a little bit concerned about the phrase by right. And because it does mean that a developer can do it no matter what. But I just don't, and I also understand that some of the people pushing for this don't feel that it absolutely needs to be settled tonight. So, I'm not gonna, on the merits, I think I probably agree, although I don't fully understand it. If it doesn't absolutely have to be voted on tonight, perhaps some additional conversations might be helpful.
All right,
Can I
thank you.
respond?
Sure, yes.
Thank you. When you say that the developer, you can do it no matter what, I think that's a little misleading, if I may. That's what the regulations in the zoning code address. That's why we have height regulations, floor area, ratio regulations, setback, side yard, rear yard regulations, buffer requirements in M1. Example in M1 is, a 15-foot minimum wide landscape buffer between M1 uses and residential districts. So they can't do it no matter what. They have to do it within the confines of what the zoning regulations allow for M1. So I just wanted to be clear about that. As far as the scheduling, I can't address that because, we followed our scheduling, and this is totally at the request of City Council that this move forward at this time. Also, if I may, on some of the previous comments, and I know there are more questions, but I think it's natural to equate what we are proposing this evening with these amendments to M1 to the facility like the Chase Field House. That's an exceptional example of what could be done. And it's also in an area where a lot of land was available to do it. That will not be the typical commercial recreation or public assembly type use, that we expect to see coming in, in the future. Again, it depends on the size of the parcel in the M1 area and how the regulations affect what it is that's being proposed to use. If you look at the recommended definitions, you'll see examples of what types of uses we're actually talking about. It's not the big field houses, that exist now, although that's wonderful and it's in a great location. It doesn't impact the neighborhood. This goes a lot farther. Thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you. Councilmember Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I want to thank you, Gwen, for clarifying that the public notification met the requirements, because there's always a lot of misinformation always communicated. So thank you very much for sharing that information. Also, my question is that my point I want to make is that I see this as an opportunity for the city of Wilmington, given this passing, to bring in more revenue, be it whatever company, organization, developer, or whomever that wants to build something in that area, correct?
Correct.
When I look at the Chase Fieldhouse, I know that there was a lot of conversation about it coming into the city and them building that building there. And there was opportunity for me to work with the developer, with the community, to make sure that the community would have opportunity to go into the field house, that some of the marginalized communities could go there and enjoy themselves. And I will say that that has happened. Whenever I reach out to those in charge, the president of the Blue Coats, they're always welcomed, open. We just had Duffy's Hope there, where the community came in, they enjoyed it. So many successful events take place there. And if we are talking about moving this to have that kind of opportunity to bring in more revenue to the city of Wilmington, I welcome that, because we are constantly seeing more legislation showing up on our agenda, reducing revenue from our coffers. And so I'm excited to know that we are making room, an opportunity for us to bring in some revenue in the city of Wilmington, because we need it. And like I said, we have a lot of legislation constantly coming in, reducing revenue, but we don't have a lot of solutions and suggestions coming through, or legislation to increase our revenue. So I'm going to be in support of it on tonight. That's all I have, Mr. President. And I also want to say, no, that's not all. I had the opportunity to talk to the residents in this district. This is in the 4th District, as it relates to the condo homeowners and those that are in that area. And they're looking forward to South Market Street being built up, where there can be more recreation, where there can be more community. So again, I am definitely in support of it on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Owens.
Yes, just a point of clarity. So the indoor track that is coming to South Bridge area, that has already been annexed into the city and received its M1 designation to do what they need to do to build that, correct?
They went to the Zoning Board of Adjustment for permission to establish the use variance that was necessary to build that.
Correct.
structure.
So what we're talking about here would not apply to that, because they've already gone through the proper channel.
They're already a use, and once M1 allows those types of uses, they go from being a use variance use to a matter of right.
Okay. But this would not only impact that area over there, which they already went through their steps to get that use variance there. This would impact every M1 district. So it's not just one district being impacted by this.
That's correct.
It's multiple districts. And the only reason why I brought up my concern about the parking is because the M1 districts in my area are literally surrounded by two R3 and an R2 area, which means, again, I have enough issues in my district when it comes to parking and people putting out cones already. I think someone has a resolution or ordinance coming up about that. I don't want to unintentionally create a venue space. It will bring in some revenue for us, but it will also cause a lot of headache for those surrounding neighborhoods. If you look on the map, the M1 districts in my neighborhood, literally the street, either way they go, you're right next to a residential seat. There's a house right there. So that's why I brought up my concern about the parking, and if there was anything we could do about that. I know Councilwoman Cabrera brought that notion up as well too. And I am a little confused about on our legislation when it comes to the minimum amount parking requirements. There's two different areas here for the M1.
Two different areas?
Yeah. I'll bring it up.
Are they both M1, or is one M1 and one's M2?
One's M1 here and then one M1 there.
Thank you.
would they be combined or?
Because these uses are permitted in the M1, the minimum amount of parking required would be whatever's required in M1 districts. So it has not been separated out. It's lumped in with the M1. It's one for each 3 employees, as well as the size of the establishment.
Okay. So, follow up, Mr. President?
Yes.
So if they built a 30,000 square foot building and they had 30 employees, would that be 20 parking spots because both would equal 10, or is it 10 altogether? I'm sorry.
Let me write this down. No, for 30 employees, well, it's one for each 3, so that would be 10 parking spaces.
Then one for
But
every 3,000.
it's estimated on the maximum number of employees at any one time in the establishment.
Okay.
And then the other is the calculation based on the square footage of the gross floor area of the building.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councilmember McCoy?
I just have one comment. You are imagining a warehouse or something. I'm fighting for parking for just townhomes. The city needs to grow. People are building homes. Parking is at a premium everywhere. So to be like, I understand, the need of parking. I have basically tried to curb building in certain areas, like where there might be a cul-de-sac or dead end, so we won't go to these types of issues. But parking is paramount here, and this is something that we're gonna end up having to deal with all the time. So I'm like, so to imagine a South Street, or not South Street, but what is that, Broad Street size stadium or whatever in the middle of the city of Wilmington, I think is a little bit.
And again, that type of use wouldn't likely be allowed in any area in the city, to be honest with you. And again, as the definitions imply, these are smaller venues. These are things that just aren't allowed right now, that should be. Because there is an interest in it. It brings benefit to the community. It brings revenue to the community. I don't think people really think about the revenue that is generated from a use like, the field house. It's not just the admission, it's not just the price of the ticket. It's hotels and retail and restaurants, that are benefiting from these types of uses.
Councilmember Owens, followed by Councilmember Willauer.
Yeah, I think people are getting a little confused what I'm saying. So I'm not thinking about in my M1 district that I'm going to have a Chase Fieldhouse, right? What I'm saying is if someone builds a venue space that is, let's say a rental hall, right? For parties, gatherings, whatever, baby showers. If they only have to build 4 or 5 parking spots with that, when you have a baby shower or when you have a party, you're going to have more than 4 to 5 people. So that additional parking for them, if there's no requirements in there and they don't do that, then they're going to park in the residential areas and it's going to cause issues with the residents. That's what I'm saying. I'm not thinking a big grand thing that's going to bring thousands of cars at one time. I'm thinking about something is small, so according to our requirements, they only have to build a small number of parking spots, but they're going to have a lot of people come out to this venue, and it may be a constant thing if they're renting it out or whatever.
Well, I understand what you're saying, absolutely, and I will say this is our first stab at trying to address this need. It will get more consideration during the zoning code update because we have a lot of work to do on our existing code and, where it falls short in development issues. And we can also further address specific or more specific parking needs for the uses that were identified and further amend the code down the road, to get more specific about what we think is necessary as we learn. So this is not a static thing. It's not, hey, this is what you get. It's let's start with this. Let's move forward. Let's amend the code as necessary when we see what's necessary. And see how we can be better accommodating. But it certainly isn't the intent to put, hundreds of cars on residential streets. It's, parking is required on the site. And there will be discussions. Development just doesn't take place without the kind of discussions that are necessary with the community and with council members. So I think there are safeguards, and there are, I can promise you that those types of issues can be addressed in the future.
Thank you.
Councilmember Willauer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, and I'm sorry to be having a long conversation about this. I thought that the last time that this came in front of the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee that we were going to have more opportunity for discussion, because I think there are, things that need to be talked about. And then also it sounds like there's going to be something that's a little bit more comprehensive with this idea of the zoning update. So I guess I have a couple of questions, but just starting off, like the city already has, I know there's a miniature golf down at the riverfront, and I know that there's a bunch of gyms that people have set up. How have they managed to establish themselves in the city without this zoning change?
Because they're in a W4 district, which allows commercial recreation.
And
They think it's entitlement tonight.
Councilmember Oliver, please raise your hand if you want to be acknowledged. Thank you.
And so the miniature golf it's in a zone where that's allowed?
It's a waterfront W4 residential/commercial zoning district. It allows mixed uses.
And the gyms that are around the town, they're all in waterfront?
No, but they may be in other districts that allow those types of uses. It's just that M1 does not permit these types of uses. And we're trying to make M1 more viable as a district because it's not thriving as an M1, warehousing and light manufacturing district.
And I guess my question is why not do this? Why do this change now and not do it as part of something broader and what's the rush?
I'm not aware that there is a rush. We brought it to Planning Commission, as a part of our normal process. We get requests, we take them to City Planning Commission. We went through our process in a timely fashion. I can't speak to City Council's process. If City Council felt there needed to be more discussion one-on-one with the Planning Department, we would have welcomed that opportunity. I don't know that I know my division was not approached for additional discussion. We would not have rejected that out of hand. But, I only just learned a couple weeks ago that this was coming back. So I can't answer that question.
Councilmember Colbert.
Okay. So just want to add in conversation, we're probably going to look at legislation for the parking so that we can just have that safeguard in place moving forward. So I'll just ask my council members if they could support this evening. This is not a rush job. We were actually trying to get this on the agenda before we went on break in June. But at that time, I was told that there was too many items already that we weren't going to be able to do it, that we would move it to the first meeting in September. So we're not trying to do anything sneaky. This was before we discussed it. I actually held it in a council meeting because we had these conversations, and then we went back, we addressed it, we were able to pass the legislation for the track, so there was a movement forward, and now we're coming back to just look at the rest of the city and update our zoning. It's nothing nefarious going on. There's not even any plans for any of these locations. We just want to update our code as part of what the administration and the previous administration has been trying to do. Our laws are antiquated. You were talking, what, 1930, you said, 1960?
1960s.
Exactly. It's time that we see what's going on around in our nation and other cities and states, and that we also keep getting a slice of that. We see that it's working on what we have. Let's do it in the rest of the city. Because, yes, As was mentioned by my council colleague, we want to help people with evictions, with rentals, and all these other issues that we want to do to help our residents. We also have to bring in the revenue. We just can't keep at the pace that we're going without raising taxes. And this is one way that we can do that. And what we're doing is eliminating an obstruction for these two things. And when everybody's envisioning other things, I'm envisioning an escape room. Not that I'm any good at those things, but that's what I'm envisioning. I hate those things. I'll never get out. I'll be stuck forever. But at this time, Mr. President, I move that council return to the regular order of business.
Hold on 1 second, please. There are some more questions.
Oh.
Councilmember Harley, did you have any additional comments?
I'm just going to say that the residents in the 4th District are not opposing this at all. They're looking forward to it. And I'm just somewhat, feeling some kind of way regarding this somewhat seeming resistance towards it when the residents of this particular area and district are in support of it and they're not opposing it. I just wanted to be on the record. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Did I see someone's hand raised online? Was it Director Larkin? Yes.
Yes. Council President, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that acknowledgement. I didn't realize that Councilwoman was going to move back to the regular order of business. But what I would say is that it's important to understand where M1 is currently situated. And I think that the council member brought up a great example of where commercial recreation is allowed in our most affluent areas in the city. And the M1 district historically has been filled with brownfields, junkyards, and the like. And as our planning manager eloquently stated, they are not thriving. These are areas of the city that are not thriving, that are vacant lots, underutilized warehouses, or vacant warehouses. Just to add to the record, this is an opportunity to enhance the limited land that Wilmington has available to it for high and productive use that agrees with existing community desire, existing development desire. And it is also important to take note that currently, as the zoning ordinance is structured, it only allows for those with access to high streams of capital to be able to develop these. So on top of the land restriction, you also have those built-in barriers to development. So the access to historically disenfranchised areas of the city has an additional barrier on top of it. And this is an opportunity to just really put that land into productive use, and to also to share. We did receive our final contract for the zoning modernization, which does not update the map, as Gwen stated. These are text updates that bring us from a bygone era of 1960 and will provide us definitions that are currently missing or are interpreted just in practice. So the opportunity to add those additional restrictions and address those concerns are right at our footstep. We'll be beginning doing that work here in the fall and into 2027. So it's a perfect timing opportunity to add additional protections after this update. But I just wanted to provide some of that clarity and context prior to moving back to regular business. Thank you for the opportunity, President.
All right, thank you.
May I proceed?
Yes, in addition to the conversation about the parking, I would also like there to be a conversation about more. Right now, I think you said it's a recommendation that the developer talk to the community. I would like that to be a requirement, just so I make sure that the council members and the community are always at the table.
Well, it's always our intent, but
All
yes,
right.
you're right, it could be a requirement.
Okay, all right, thank you. Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you, President, and that's something we can consider as we discuss making some changes as we move forward. This isn't, like you said, written in stone. This is a work in progress because it's something new that we're trying, and we know that we have the power as council to make these changes and to listen to our constituents. I now move that council return to the regular order of business.
Second.
1 second, please. Also, we have to make sure that if anyone from the public has anything to say, anyone in council chambers want to speak for or against, anyone virtually, WITN? Okay, all right, thank you. Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move council return to the regular order of business.
Second.
It's been moved and second that council return to the regular order of business. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right now, we're returning to regular order of business. Clerk, please read the committee report.
September 11, 2025, President and members of council. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Community Development and Urban Planning Committee met by anchor location and remote participation, to who is referred ordinance number 25-048 entitled an ordinance to amend chapter 48 of the city code to permit commercial recreation and public assembly as matter of right uses in the M1 light manufacturing zoning district. Have given this ordinance careful review and recommend council vote on it at an upcoming council meeting. Respectfully submitted, those members of the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee. Those members present, Councilwoman Cabrera, Councilman Hackett, Councilwoman McCoy, Councilman Owens, Councilwoman Willauer, President Congo, absent with leave, Councilwoman Darby, and Councilman Field.
Mr. President, I move the committee report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been, excuse me, it's been moved and seconded that the findings at the committee report be made a part. Let the committee report be received, recorded, and filed. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And are we talking about the findings at this time?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's been moved and seconded that the findings be made a part of the record. On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Clerk, please read if there are any findings.
October 2nd, 2025, City Council findings supporting the enactment of ordinance number 25-048 to amend chapter 48 of the city code to permit commercial recreation.
Mr. President, I move the findings be made a part of the record.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the findings be made a part of the record. Excuse me. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the third and final reading.
Ordinance number 25-048, agenda number 0102. An ordinance to amend chapter 48 of the city code to permit commercial recreation and public assembly as matter of right uses in the M1 light manufacturing zoning district.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that be known as the acting clause of the ordinance and called for a yea and nay vote. On the question,
Mr. President, I think that we had a robust discussion on this issue and just want to again assure my council members that any ideas, any changes, or anything that you would like to see enacted to add to this legislation, Councilmember Owens and myself are already looking at two things that we're going to work on. I would appreciate your feedback so that we can go forward. I would like all of you to feel comfortable moving forward with this legislation to make sure that you have input and the public has input. So at this point, that's all I have to say. I think this is good for the city of Wilmington, and let's call for the vote if my council members don't have any additional comments.
I just want to remind council members that with your vote, you just have to state a reason. for the way that you're going to vote. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Owens,
Yes, based off the findings.
Councilwoman Oliver,
Yes, based on the findings.
Councilwoman Harley,
Yes, based on the findings and the opportunity for it to bring in more revenue.
Councilwoman Newellauer,
Present, based on the findings.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Yes, based on the findings.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes, based on the findings.
Councilman Field,
Yes, based on the findings.
Councilwoman Bracy,
Yes, based on the findings.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes, based on the findings and the report.
Councilman Hackett,
Yes, based on the findings.
Councilman Spadola,
Yes, based on the findings.
President Congo.
Yes, based on the findings.
11 yeas, 1 absent, and 1 present.
Declared adopted.
Mr. President, I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you. Excuse me. This time we're going to move to petitions and communications. Councilmember Owens.
Yes, Mr. President, I just want to invite everyone out to our quarterly community cleanup. That's going to be this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're meeting at the Wilmington PAL, 3707 North Market Street. There will be food after. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Oliver.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to invite everybody out to the 6th annual Millie Cannon concert at Price's Park from 12 to 7. And everyone's welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Harley.
Yes, I would like to remind the residents of Wilmington that City Council put in $350,000 in this budget for seniors, for those that are disabled, and for all residents that are having water bill needs. That all you have to do is call 311, and you also receive a notification for 6 months to let you know that your water may be in jeopardy of getting shut off. But all you got to do is call 311, and there will be someone to work with you to make sure that your water does not get shut off. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Willauer.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember McCoy.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Field.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Councilmember Bracy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to invite the entire city out to our end of summer block party powered by Play Streets in memory of our former Councilwoman Rashima Dixon. This is going to be held next Tuesday, the 25th, at Rodney Square from 6 to 8:30. We're going to have Rashima's father, Mr. Dixon, on the grill. We will have a Chick-fil-A food truck. There will be games, basketball, Philly double judges coming down. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we want to see everyone out to celebrate the end of summer, back to school. And then at 8:30, we're going to have movie night right in Rodney Square, and we'll be playing the Michael Jackson movie. So hope to see you all out for end of summer party. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Cabrera.
Yes, Mr. President, I would like to invite people to come out Saturday also for the Afro Foodie event that's taking place in Rodney Square. So a lot of delicious food. You might want to stop and check out what they have before heading over to the Millie Cannon concert. And if there is rain, just wear a raincoat and an umbrella because it's going to be a good time. I really enjoyed that event that Councilmember Oliver puts on. And I believe this is the first Afro Foodie Festival taking place. So proud sponsor of that. And I hope that people will come out and check out the food from our motherland. And be safe out there. And thank you. That's it for tonight.
Thank you, Councilmember Hackett.
Nothing for tonight, President.
Thank you, Councilmember Spadola.
Nothing tonight, Council President.
All right, thank you. Just want to thank everyone for joining us again. Thank you for your patience. And thank you for participating in public comment. Again, if we can help you in any way here at City Council, please call us at 302-576-2140. Again, our number is 302-576-2140. You're always welcome to participate in all of our meetings throughout the month. If you need the dates of our meetings, again, just give us a call. With that, I will accept the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
So
We adjourn.
overzealous.
Thank you.
Good night.